Hey everybody, it is Tuesday morning. Probably the first morning that I actually woke up before Bento. I'm like, Bento, wake up. It's almost daylight. We gotta get going. Before... we don't have to get going, but I want to go see that plane again. So as soon as the sun started to rise, I was like, time for walks. Which he was into. You know, he's probably gonna wake up in like 15 minutes anyways. So as we get close to the crash site, there's still fire trucks and stuff doing things. And there's a few news vehicles parked in here. They have some areas taped off. And the plane is still there. Kinda cool. I was thinking about going over and looking at it from that corner, but there's a lot of dog walkers this morning. It's kinda weird. Where all these dog walkers been in the past week since I've been walking the dog? Suddenly there's a plane crash in the neighborhood and everyone wants to go see it. I guess that makes sense. I mean, who wouldn't want to go see it? Yeah, as I was playing fetch, there's a couple helicopters flying around. I assume that they are like news helicopters, but maybe they weren't. It's hard to tell nowadays, like... Well, you would think everyone would just use drones now, since it's a lot cheaper than having a whole helicopter. But who knows? I think this is drone footage, at least, that I found from CBC. But whatever. So yeah, I went back over to the field and had another good look at it from a couple of angles. Kind of feel like they'll clean it up throughout the day, probably, and might not see it again. So, yeah, going back home, give Bento his dog breakfast, and he seemed pretty content to go back to sleep. Booted up some Silksong, played that for a little bit, till Bento seemed like he was wanting to do something. I let him hang out outside. Get some of that sun dog in it. Yep, he's a big fan of the sun. Although sometimes there's like wasps still, so trying to keep a good eye on him. And yeah, I decided to bust out the mop that they have. Give the kitchen a little bit of a mopping. And see if that helps. Some of these tiles seem like they're kind of smudged up. I don't know. Maybe they're just like that? But yeah, they have a cool mop, so it was kind of fun to use. There's definitely a few spots that came up. Pretty nice. I didn't use a ton of cleaner product stuff, so that probably would have helped more. But anyways, doing the lunchtime walk. I guess it is like lunch hour, so there's lots of kids around. And the news people are still around, doing like, I guess, reporter on the scene type stuff. And they've taped off more of the area, so you can't walk up next to the field and have a look anymore. Yep. And a few groups of kids climbing up on the fence and stuff. Oh, those kids. Anyways, it was too busy, so we just walked around the neighborhood. And then, near the end of the lunch break, back over to Monarch Park. What can I say, guys? I'm just drawn to go look at that plane crash. You know, you just don't get to see it every day, so gotta look at it while you can. Yeah, and I played some fetch with Bento. Again, he seemed pretty into it. He was doing some good fetching. And it's not too hot. I feel like the wasps aren't going too crazy in Monarch Park, so we also just chilled out for a little bit. He seemed like he was getting a little bit itchy. Wondering when I should give him his itching medicine again. Yeah. Went back and cooked up some broccoli. Bento again wants to just lay in the backyard, get that sun. he seemed to enjoy it. Well, he was able to let him just relax here for long enough that he was panting from being warm in the sun. He looked very happy about it. Anyways, ate that food and watched the Geo Wizard cross London in one day without walking down a road. He was only like crossing streets and like, I don't know, he's doing weird stuff. Should check it out if you're into urban adventuring. Yeah, Bento, he's starting to get that itchy back again. So around 4 p.m. I gave him his itchy medicine, which is like 25 hours since the last time I gave him one. And it seemed like it worked again. Hopefully this pollen stuff will stop pollinating, if that is what his itchiness is about. Yeah, the afternoon walk, the neighbors are throwing out some stuff. Nothing that I would want though. Mostly seem like junk. So yeah, back at Fieldstead, doing some more fetch. Yeah, that was some good fetching. Again, just chilling in the shade. Over at the dog park, not very many people in there right now. Seems like all the tape is gone, and someone told me that the plane was gone, which is kind of good because now I can finally like come over here and have a look close up at the scene of the crash. You can see what the fence is kind of like. There's 3 fence posts that have been knocked down. Some of them still kind of attached to the ground. They've got the temporary fencing in. So yeah, I was looking for like a downed tree or something. I'm not sure where the plane came in from, probably from the southwest. Apparently they were gonna land at Billy Bishop, but wanted to do a loop around the CN Tower before they landed. And then they had the engine failure, and this is probably one of the only places that they could see in the dark, since it was lit up last night. You can see the branches that I think it took out. There was like a big scrape on the ground, so pretty small like amount of space to do a landing, but glad it worked out, you know? Seems like no one died. So yeah, went back, ate some food, hung out with Bento. He ate his dog dinner, and I gave him his dental chew, which he enjoyed. I also watched the newest Superman movie, and I thought it was nice. I'm not sure why a lot of people seem to like really dislike this one. I'm like, yep, that seems like Superman stuff. Anyways, did our night walk, and I did not play fetch with him at night, which it seemed like he was a little bit disappointed when we got back. He wanted to play with the ball. It's like, oh, maybe we should have done more fetch. Sorry, bud, but kind of already gave him so many treats today. It's like, I don't know. Time to just chill. Later, guys.